I'm going to follow up with carpet, the idea of the carpet and how that indicates economic level. In that discussion, I think it was actually deeper than just carpet. It's not about just putting a carpet in a building and then saying that the economic level has risen in that country. I think it's a deeper question about how design is used, or particularly interior design. So the question to myself was the Filipino airport, did they use carpet? And yes, they use carpet, but it's only when you get off and on the plane. Does that carpet communicate with the rest of the building? It doesn't. For the most part, the building was using tile flooring, and we can see that right here. It's also incorrect to say that if an airport uses tiling, then its economic level is lower, because I'll show you a picture of the Singapore airport. Here's the Singapore airport, and it has tiling. What's interesting about the Singapore airport, the central and the core areas will have tiling, but the areas where we're going to be sitting and waiting for the airplane or the duty-free area, that has carpet. Also, we can look and we can compare the two images together. There's not the way interior designers work is the design of the space inside has to tell a story of some sort. And for the casual user, they don't know that story. They just know that it has a sense of feel. But to a designer, there's a story behind it. And on here, we're not really seeing much of a story. We're seeing just a white color on the ceiling. We're seeing just normal office-style lighting, a normal tile happening here. The seats have no coordination, no relationship with the building, with the interior of the building. If we look at this, we can see there's a slight patterning happening on the floor, and we can see that pattern actually mimics on the wall over here. We can see that there's art, and this art complements what's happening in here. So this is, these are the tiny details that no one notices, but this is where the interior designer comes into play. And each country has its own kind of flavor. So I would invite you to go travel through the Zurich International Airport. The last time I traveled through it, and that was probably 10 years ago, and my memory tells me that it was actually very white surfaces. And usually when you have a room with lots of white surfaces, like we do here, it has a very office or hospital type of feeling. That's not the best feeling for an airport. But if you're traveling to Zurich, they have this type of white surfaces, but it doesn't feel like a hospital. It still feels relaxing. It feels efficient. It feels like what Switzerland represents. And it's in the details of how they designed that. I would have to go back and look at their airport to see what are the tricks that they make us feel comfortable without feeling like we're in a hospital. So I think my theory of probably it's not carpets, it's interior design spaces inside airports indicating a country's development level. The questions I did have that might take that theory and throw it into the trash, per se, is what happens when we're in Dubai. Dubai is, their space is, the interior is well designed. Does Dubai indicate a higher economic level? It does for its citizens, but we've got a lot of imported labor, and their core area of the airport, and that's what I remember from, again, that was 10 years ago, was tile, and then where the seating areas are carpet. Kuwait has a high economic level because of the oil, and my memory of the airport was it wasn't well, the interior was not designed that well. So those are the two areas I'm kind of think that this idea of the interior space of airports isn't consistent with my theory.